So Edgar Kadenge is a professional in the agriculture sector. I have got vast experience, I think over 15 years, working with smallholder farmers. I've experienced the challenges that come with farming, ranging from low productivity, access to inputs, challenges in value addition, access to markets, and for a long period of time, I've been working within that space to help farmers, smallholder, mid-holder, or even large-scale farmers to just get solutions to those challenges. And I think my continued interaction with the challenges within this space is what spurred my interest to start venturing in some value-adding options within the agriculture sector. So talking about Ekay Ventures, it's a company that has seen quite a journey. Before Ekay, when I just had begun working in my initial years of working, I had partnered with various colleagues or friends to come up with several enterprises that, as young people, you want to try some form of business that will give you money, will give you extra income. So my journey begins from working with colleagues. Initially, we had a business that opted to give some logistical solutions to farmers. I was working with a friend of mine, but then over time, it didn't pick up. We had our own challenges, our cash flow issues. We also didn't agree on various business principles. So I had to opt out of that business. I again joined another colleague of mine and a friend of mine too, to also get into value addition, but then within the dairy sector, adding value to livestock feeds. Again, in the same challenge and the same breath, we didn't move far because we had our challenges in terms of how we were able to get to the market, how we were able to penetrate, and how we were able to position our business. That led to me teaming up with yet another friend of mine to begin the branding and packaging of honey. And all was going on quite well. But then again, some turbulence, some business headwinds. We were not able to really position our finances and our books in a proper manner. So unfortunately, the business went down. That led me to sit down and think about me investing, because I strongly believed in my journey interacting with various challenges. I believe there's something in me. I have the solutions. I know what I can do different from what we are doing with the other colleagues. So it led me to register the company Ekay Ventures. And when we talk about just Ekay, I'm Edgar Kadenge. And in all my communications, I'm fond of signing my name as Ekay. Ekay, just E and a K. So Ekay became my trademark. But when registering, I decided to give it a twist, and it became Ekay Ventures Limited, and that's how it was born. I registered in 2017. My value proposition, what was I looking at? When we look at the agriculture space, it's really dominated either by the large multinationals or the very small SMEs that are doing things. So the large multinationals are almost looking at addressing or getting the raw materials, even importing them, processing and selling at large scale for profits. The small SMEs are looking at, or they're doing things in quite a semi-structured manner. They don't have the business plans, they don't have the information on how they're going to reach their customers. They don't have a niche market or a target or they're looking at. They're just doing it basically for it. You'll find somebody who is packaging honey, but he just wants to come up with a few tins of honey that will sell around the estate on social media. You'll get somebody who's doing peanut butter. Again, he'll be doing the same thing, just getting a few pieces of peanut butter out that is able to sell not beyond the local circle. But I was then looking at rebranding or refreshing the whole thing to process this human food. Number one, that maintains its natural and organic state, not altering. So I do not add in anything. So for all the products that I'm working on or I'm working with, I do not include any sorts of additives or preservatives, if you may call them. So they maintain their natural state, and as such, your nutrition is guaranteed, and you are comfortable that you are not consuming chemicals or things that are not comfortable adding into your body. And then number two, I was looking at redefining, the distribution mechanisms, taking advantage of the emerging trends in e-commerce, but then still leveraging in the old supply chain models that still exist. So I was looking at ensuring that when I'm coming up with these good products, they are reaching as many people as possible. They are not confined to me selling to a few people around me. So it was a business that has got a very sunset plan from where I am now as a small business, and then ultimately moving all the way to ensuring that the business grows and expands. But then the most important thing I was looking at, beginning to venture and process materials or process foods that are really unique. They are not really as common. So I began with honey and peanut butter because let me say it was easy to get in. I had the information and the knowledge. I knew where to source the raw materials. I knew how to brand, to package. I knew how to go around with the certification processes. But then as I expanded, I realized that now I need to start venturing into other alternative foods that are still natural and organic, but are not so common. And that's how I now introduced the lines of the flours. So the flours that I have now, I'm making straight flours. I call them the straight flours. I'm making the rice flour. I'm making the bean flour. I'm making the sweet potato flour. I'm making the cassava flour, peanut flour, and millet flour. Those are 6 options. So I chose these lines for specific reasons. Number one, for people that are, sensitive to gluten or intolerant, you have got an option of flours that you can use for your baking and your pastries. For people that are also sensitive about their sources of protein and they do not want to get the vegans or another person that wants to do things over and above animal proteins, then I've got the options for you. And then for the people that are looking for starch and fiber, then you still have got the products that I'm having that you can bank on. So for these straight flours, you can either use them independently or you can use them as a blend with your favorite flour. So you can mix my sweet potato and your wheat flour. You can mix my cassava and your your wheat flour, please. Or you can use them when they're still in their natural form. And then getting feedback from people, you notice that as we process these flours, for instance, rice flour and bean flour, the information is not yet out there on how you can use this kind of products. So the information that still comes out frequently is how can we use these products that you're making. So we try our level best to go out and do the marketing and give them information on what you can do, how you can blend, what you can use, coming up with some simple recipes that you can use to make your foods. But then the demand for making composite flours then came in, where we are able now to make a blended ratio of the various flours. And that's how we came up with the baking and the porridge flours. So for the baking flour, we have got the all-purpose flour, where we still maintain the wheat, but then we reduce it to half the ratio, and then add it up with the sweet potatoes, add it up with cassava, add it up with bean, peanut, and rice, so that we include or we introduce the microelements and the fibers within your cooking ingredients. And then you have got the gluten-free options. Yeah, for the people that still want to bake but they want gluten-free options. So we have got cassava, or we have got flour that consists of cassava, sweet potato, sweet potato, and beans, or cassava, sweet potato, and peanuts. And those ones, you can be able to use for your baking options at home. Gluten-free, there's no wheat, and it's really a very healthy option. And then for the people that are also looking for their porridge, we also came up with the formulation and blend. Yeah, so when you look at the products that I'm processing, one of the key things I'm very cognizant is I want these products to be afforded by everyone. There's this tag of people that we call the bottom of the pyramid. I just want to call them the people that are still seeking to get more resources in their pockets. And my model is I put a very minimum markup on my products so that it can be afforded by all. Meaning, if you go to the market and you look at my products, it's the highest quality but the most affordable, and that can be proved if you go look around, because my prices are out there. I'm not the inbox for price kind of type, so I will give exactly what my price is, and they are extremely affordable. Like looking at this peanut butter is 800 grams. I only sell it at retail 350 shillings. Of course, with the cost of material going up, it may increase, and it will not be above 400 shillings. It may be just around 380 shillings with the new reversed pricing. This is a kilogram of honey. I sell it at 600 shillings. And when I tell somebody 600 shillings, they're like, is it original honey? Because they're used to these are going well over 800 shillings. These are going well over 600 shillings. So they're able to afford. This is bean flour. For 1 kg only, I sell it at 300 shillings. And that is considering that if you buy bean and processed a kg, you will buy it at almost 150 shillings. So you realize that I've added value to you. I've done everything, but it's not beyond 300 shillings for this. And the same for cassava. It's only 150 shillings. Well packaged in a safe environment, highly hygienic. But then again, I've not put in exorbitant markup. So I want to ensure that it's affordable. And by affordability, anyone can afford this kind of products. I've also packaged in various packets. Like you see, this is 1 kilogram. This is 250 grams. That is 500 grams. So it ranges from 2 kilograms to 250 grams, such that, across board, it can be afforded. This one ranges from 1 kilogram all the way to 75 grams. And this one from 800 grams all the way to 120 grams. So there is a range in packaging, and the pricing ensures that you just put in the minimum markup so that high turnover, I seek to move volumes and leverage on that, and ensure that many people can afford all that. And it's working well for me, I can say that. Talking of advising young people, and not just young, any other person, because the young, the old, anyone can get into business. But if we have to focus on the upcoming generation, at the risk of sounding like a motivational speaker, I'll say, just start. I sometimes take a different approach to business, and that's what I discovered. If you look at my history initially, I've given a list of 4 to 5 failed ventures that I was in. And with all these ventures, we were getting in, we were anticipating good businesses, and you'll notice that challenges may not only be around money. It may be in terms of the model you're adopting. It may be in terms of the partner that you're working with. It may be in terms of the ecosystem within the business, the competition, the quality that you're having. So if you want to get into business, just start. Have your idea on paper, have your idea down, just start. And with that, it means that you will look at the resources you have, and you will determine the scale with which you will begin your idea with. Idea will remain an idea if you don't put it into actualization. And don't wait to have that light bulb moment and wait to invent a new thing so that you can go down. Sometimes when you look around, you will get every other people telling you, like, you need to have your unique selling point, you need to have your new idea out, all beautiful, but we'll tell you what. My mantra is there is space for everyone. So don't attempt to wait until that moment you think you're doing something substantially different from others. Sometimes what we just need is the motivation. Sometimes what we just need is the drive. Sometimes what we just need is a little tweak. Everyone is making honey, but whoever thought of calling his honey bee honey? And that comes in as just a unique point that you're bringing in the whole industry. Everyone is making flowers, but whoever thought of this kind of packaging for the flower? So it doesn't have to be that absolutely ridiculously different thing that you bring on paper. But whenever you have an idea and you want to try it out, I'll tell you, go out and start. Don't wait to have your first bank million. Don't wait to get your first loan. Don't wait to get your first venture capital. Give yourself an opportunity also to fail. Agree to fail. We have failed terribly. I am where I am as Ekay because I've failed terribly. And I'm not saying that now I have it right. I'm still learning. I'm still in the development process. I'm still making mistakes, yes. But at least I know I've had various mistakes that I've made earlier that I can't repeat now. And I'm going to tell you that, when you're getting into these kind of things, be ready to fail and do not beat yourself so hard when you fail. When you fail, get up. If I look cumulatively at the losses I've had over the entire journey in businesses, it's quite mind-boggling, but still I was able to get up. And it's not because I have a lot of money. I have no money. If you look at Ekay Ventures, when I made the idea to start this, by the time I was registering the company, I had absolutely no money at all. I could hardly even register the company. By the time I was making my first jar of honey, I could only bring in 2 mitungis of asali, beginning just small, because I just wanted to go right in and begin the process of growing. And then be proactive, look for opportunities. Be proactive, look for opportunities, brand yourself well. When you are coming up, you may be a small business, but don't again brand yourself as a kiosk business. Perception matters. Somebody will look at you. If there's somebody who is looking to establish contacts with you and you present yourself as a small, in the house kiosk business, you will limit the opportunities that will come your way. Brand yourself in a way that you are the expert in this field. You know what you are doing. You are confident and but can be able to vouch for your products. And then don't attempt to do things at the back end or the back door. Like, I've done my things. I've got my file. My finances are audited. I pay my taxes. I remit my taxes to KRA. I've got my whatever you see. That's the evidence we're having there. The VAT pins and the equipment is there. This honey is duly certified by Kenya Bureau of Standards. These ones are in the process of undertaking certification because it's a new product line that I've just introduced. So don't attempt to do things underhand, but just go and establish or do things within the right legal space. With that, you'll be able to explore more markets. You will be at peace. You're not trying to run away from, the government agencies, and then you'll be able to grow and even make more. So as you do this business, seek to understand that environment, seek to know what is needed, seek to know what does the government require, and be over the government. There are many other certifying bodies. You may realize that you need maybe licenses from NEMA. You will realize that you need to develop the HACCP plans, the hazard and critical point control plans. You realize that you need to know, there are quite a number of statutory recommendations and requirements you need to have. Just do the things right. Don't attempt to hide behind so that you are happy you're selling. The problem with going underhand, you will make your sales, yes, but when the time comes when you need to pay the right dues, you will notice they are quite substantial and you are having a false sense of income eventually. And that may lead to you trying to adjust your prices and exponentially high, and that price jump may even affect your market. Just do the right things. So when you look at the challenges that we are facing, again, they're quite vast. I have the advantage of being somebody who is in the agriculture sector. I understand the dynamics. I understand the challenges. But you'll come to realize, number one, when you're getting into business is a science in itself and an art. And you're talking about business, you really know how to manage your business professionally. You may realize that you have all the products out on board, you have sent out to the markets. I'll give you my example. I say I've got a network of over 50 supermarkets, small supermarkets that I'm sending to. All of them have got what we call the credit window. Not everybody will pay you cash instantly. So the value of goods that has gone out, give or take, is maybe 300,000 shillings. In terms of payment, you'll be receiving payments in bits and pieces. A 10,000 here, a 5,000 here, a 15,000 here, cash flow. So, constantly you need lots of money to take goods out, but cash coming in is spaced, and spaced over a period of 2 months. So a block sending of 300, spaced payment, it really affects your cash flow. You really need to be astute in business, and you will need to take even extra classes, extra lessons to know how to manage your cash flow. Otherwise, you'll have a business that's so busy, but you don't have money in your account. And the second challenge is, again, acceptability of their products. I'm coming in, I'm highly innovative, I'm coming up with bean flour. I know it's a good source of proteins, made from high iron beans, made from good quality beans. And then when you ask me about how do I use these beans, you really need to understand how can we use this product over and above just a blending and flour. So challenges will come in terms of positioning the new products that you are creating and creating the acceptability in the market. So I'm really trying to come out and look at what are the menus, talking to nutritionists, what things can come out, but it's still a major challenge in the sense that people still don't understand, well, how can we use this product? So the use of those new products comes in, and you really need, when you're coming up with a new product, you have got full information. You can be able to tell people why this product, why should I buy this flour? Otherwise, you'll just have a product that looks good to the eye, looks good to the academics, but it's not being consumed. And the third thing would be the third challenge. You realize that I've got lots of machinery here, and this machinery needs maintenance. And you see, you've just come in, even at that point, one of the chain has broken. They break without notice. They were working perfectly well 2 days ago. Right now, today, we are trying to put it on. It can't come on. The person is supposed to come and fix. I've been calling him since 6 a.m. in the morning, just telling him that he's coming. You know what? I've got an order worth 100,000 shillings I need to deliver in the next 2 days in Western Kenya into supermarkets. One a chain of 5, one a chain of 3, 8. And they need the order in the next 3 days. By Friday, it should be there. The person is not yet here. So you should be able to learn that, those are some of the challenges you start facing when you are managing your processes. And this dynamics will always come in, and you'll be able to, you really need to how to sort them out. I think the other one, the major one, of course, that affects every other person, and I think it's a cliche, will always be finances. I'm separating finances from management of cash flow, in the sense that you also the capital to begin the business and to inject. Business, you need to constantly keep on injecting in money. Before it comes to that point of break even, you will need to keep on injecting more and more, and your profits and your what. And the people you're working with, the market, the 5 people, they are the first priority. So constantly, you are never paying yourself. When you look at the curve of a small business inception, before that you get into the value of death. Value of death simply means that you get that moment you're unable to manage your cash flows, you're unable to break into the market, you're unable to penetrate the market, and you don't have more money because you took some loan somewhere to begin. What happens eventually? And care is coming for your neck, you close shop. So I'm in my 5th year. I'm getting out of that value of death. I survived it. I'm happy, because discipline, you need to keep on reinvesting in. But it will be a challenge. Do you have the money to keep on investing in? If it is the only primary thing you are doing, you also need to survive. You have got your personal needs. Will you get that cash? You may be tempted now to start getting into debt upon debt. And you'll find that too. When people talk about money, you also notice that there are many people that are willing to give you that money, but it's very unhealthy cash with high interest rates and ridiculous payment options. I remember I was just sitting in one forum where the funders of all the purported funders were proposing that when they give you finances, they'll give you, but they'll take equity in your firm, and that equity will be 30% flat rate in the value of your business. And then when they give you the money, you will pay 3 times. So if they give you 100,000, you pay back 300,000. And remember, they have taken 30% equity. They say they're holding onto it until you pay back the money. That is just a very polite way of telling you that we can just take you into liquidation when you don't pay back our cash. You should be bright enough to see that so many people, too many organizations are there coming up as venture capitalists, as equity funders, as what. But how bright are you to know that you are finance ready and that you are able to accommodate and consume this cash, and you can be able to pay it back? How can you read through to know that you're not going just to fall for anything? The challenge, what's the challenge? Do people have that knowledge? To any person telling them that I want to give you money, they will easily fall for it. And then the other one, of course, that is the biggest challenge would again be just marketing, marketing your products constantly. You need to constantly market. As I said, I use social media, I use influencers, I use traditional. I've placed my Nini on a local TV, I've placed this on a local radio. I've constantly on my page, it's a marketing platform. So you have to keep on marketing, and marketing does not mean just putting a product out there, people come and buy. Looking at the innovative ways of engaging people until it converts to a sale. So if you do not have the knowledge and the means to know how well you're going to place your product out that market, you realize that the rate at which products are getting out of your premise is much lower than the rate at which you're using expenses within the premise to process or get raw materials and pay other people. So again, remember, you are competing with the multinationals. So I'm at that point where, if you look at the various photos I have, it is me. I don't want to call them, I may call them me, Blueband, Natis, Nini, all of us in that space. But they have millions in their marketing budget. Before news, you'll see their marketing. During news, after news, Sangapi, with the Teletubbies, they are marketing, but they have that budget. So, but you still have to compete with them. So it comes in as a marketing, but then imagine that with very strict competition. Again, remember, this one now speaks to what I said earlier, where you where you really need to look at the products that you are putting out into the market. But then I was saying, I'm not seeking to come up with a light bulb moment. Wow, this is a product that nobody has ever made. I want to start something very new, extremely new, proof of concept, etc. I'm just looking what is ordinary, normal, consumed for everyone, but just giving it a twitch. So meaning whatever you are making, a million other people are making.